Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome back to a brand new video. Now, today we're talking about the DJI Mini 2. But, we've taken a look at the drone itself. We've taken a look at most of its features to the camera. However, we haven't talked about the FPV feature on it. So, let's talk about it. Now, with the FPV feature of the with the Mini 2, I can't say that I really enjoy it because you see all the classic FPV shots, which I'll insert some samples here. With the Mini 2, you really have to work on it. So, you saw what like a normal FPV drone looks like. Here's what the Mini 2 looks like. As you can see, there is quite a noticeable difference with the FPV drone. You have it where it's nice and the camera's set, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's just all about the movement of the drone. However, with the FPV feature of the Mini 2, because the camera sits on a 3-axis gimbal, it does create for a different feeling. Because instead of having it where the camera is mounted and as you fly it goes along with it, say this is the camera. With a standard FPV drone, it'll fly with the camera catching everything that it's seen right away. Though with the FPV on the Mini 2, it has a lock-off spot. So like you can fly in an angle and it'll just be like, cool, that's as far as the gimbal can rotate. So it kind of blocks off what you're able to do. As well as it swings when you rotate. So if you're flying straight and then you go to turn it, you'll have it where camera's facing straight and then immediately just shift down to turn. It doesn't look good. But, I'll put some more clips of that in here because it becomes really apparent when you're going straight and then try to turn. Because it goes from being a nice shot to, what am I doing here? Now, the way that I found to do it best, in order to the best way I found to fly the drone with the FPV feature on is you don't really use the side sticks, to be quite honest. The way that I found best is as you're flying, so you can do both up and both down. That's completely fine. But if you go to turn, you can only do angles. So you either face both sticks up to the top opposing, you can do top same direction, like both to the top right, both to the top left, you can do one to the right, one to the left. And the same thing happens for the bottom, and that's where I found it to be the smoothest. But even then, you are limited to what you can do. Because if you're flying on sport mode at full speed, and then you start to shift into that turn, you'll still have that camera shake as it swings out to its maximum range. So you kind of have to go and then ease into it, and then you can speed up, and then it just becomes crazy. Because due to having to oppose the direction of the drone's flight pattern as well as the rotation of the drone, it heavily affects the way of which the drone flies. And so with a standard FPV, you can be standing there controlling it, and you'll see the drone go, and you'll be like, okay, there it is, whip a sharp turn, and crank it back. However, with the Mini 2, it becomes a problem of, because you're adjusting the directional flight of the drone as well as the rotation, you'll see it, and depending on which way you have your sticks angled, it'll just fly completely out of the way that you want it to really go, as well as it just becomes difficult. Now, because of this, there are many times where, like, I've been flying it, look up, and it's just like, where did it go? It's like 50 meters from where I thought it would be, and I'm just like, how did you get there? And then, you know, with that, it causes the issue of, you know, you don't want to do this in an open, or if you're not in an open area, because, so I've only done it in open areas because that is my big concern, because, like, if you're flying it that way and you're doing it so it's like, okay, like, I can't see what's here, I can't see what's here, anything, I can't tell what's going on, you're most likely going to crash it, as well as due to having to adjust the direction of the spin, you are more likely to adjust the altitude as well, so that creates another issue, because if you're going at full speed, you accidentally hit the altitude down, then you crash your drone. Now, am I saying that the FPV feature is a complete lost cause? No. There are a lot of times where you can use it, however, you just have to be very wary of the situations you are in, because with a standard FPV camera, they are a lot smaller. So they're small, they're durable, they're made to break. But, you know, going out, getting a DJI Mini 2, you crash it, that's another how many $100s you have to cough out for a whole new drone instead of just getting a part to replace the one that you broke on your FPV drone. It just falls down to the point of you have to make sure you're comfortable in the situation that you are flying in. Because if you're flying in an open field, fine, that's one thing. You can get comfortable with that. If you're flying in the middle of a meadow and trying to be like, yeah man, I'm gonna get between all these trees, right off a tree, drone down. It can get really hectic. I mean, what can you expect? You're flying a drone that goes upwards of 40 miles an hour, I think. But yeah, it becomes fun. But, you know, if you want to use it, I'm not saying it's a bad tool, I'm just saying you really have to work on the craft. It's a thing you have to work on a lot. But, you know, if you want to see like a prime example of my point, look at the DJI FPV drone. I mean, it's a great drone. It costs like, what, $1,200 or something dollars. And then you have Matty Hapoya, who is a YouTuber, and he doesn't even use the camera on it. He took a GoPro and mounted it on top of that FPV drone, just because he likes the GoPro footage more than the actual camera footage on the drone. Think about that. GoPro's not gimbalized. But, you know, if you are going to use it, just make sure to work on it before you get into any situations you may not be comfortable in, and just because that's when you're going to crash it, honestly. But with it all being said, feel free, comment down below anything you want to see, anything you want to hear, anything you want to talk about. Feel free, hit the like button, as well as to subscribe if you're new around here. But with that all being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget, don't party too hard, and I'll catch up with you guys again in the next video. Have a good one.